Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our first proper episode with FM23 and with Newcastle. And today we are going to be taking on our first two games in the league, which are against Brighton and against Everton. Of course, if you haven't picked up your copy of FM23 yet, you can do so by popping down in my description and using my referral link and the code Edworthy at checkout to get yourself even more discount from 2Game, dropping the price down to just over £32, and you can be playing the beta within minutes. So if you haven't done so already, go and get your copy of FM23 now. But for now, let's have a look what we've been doing with Newcastle. We can see we're on the 6th of August. Our pre-season has been a bit hit and miss, as we can see here. I mean, we lost 2-1 to our second 11, but we seem to have turned things around in the last couple of games, just with a couple of tactical tweaks. Obviously, I'm still trying to get used to the match engine in FM23. I don't feel like it's massively different, but it's different enough that we're having to work out exactly what is going to work. And as well as that, we have made a couple of transfers into the club as well. I think it is literally just the two that have come in. The first one that's come in is Karim Arikik. We can see he's come over from Sevilla for £9 million. We've mainly brought him because he's 27, so he could be our central defender for a few years, definitely for the whole of the beta, because we're not going to be doing too many seasons, I wouldn't imagine. And he's already, I believe, our best centre-back. If we have a look at the report here, we can see he's slightly better than both Dan Burns and Fabian Schär. So I believe a good investment. And then we also bought in Guido Rodriguez, an Argentinian either defensive midfielder or central midfielder, who's come to the club from Spain for £22.5 million. But once again, if we have a look at the report, he is one of the better. You can make the argument either him or Grimares, but he's definitely one of the better midfielders that we have got. We have still got £9 million left in the transfer kitty. I would like to spend that. I think there's still some positions that we do need to improve. On the outside for us though, just a couple going out. Paul Dummett is one who has left the club to go over to Brighton for £3.1 million. And Mark Gillespie has left as well to join Rangers. He only had 1 year left on his contract. He wasn't ever going to play. We've really not got a lot of money for him, but there's no point paying his wages for the rest of the year if he's never going to be used and he's not going to re-sign a new contract. If we have a look at the tactic we're going to be playing though, this is what we've kind of ended up with. We've got a goalkeeper rather than a sweeper keeper, two wing backs, one on attack on this side and one on support on this side. I think it kind of works. We've then got two central defenders. We are playing an anchor rather than a deep line playmaker because we've got a deep line playmaker here. Please do ignore for a moment the actual players in these roles because I'm just been filling with something. We've got a central midfielder on support. I think we want that central midfielder to be on attack. We've then got two wingers and an advanced forward. If we pick without restriction our best 11, it looks like that at the moment. Pope in goal, which I believe is what we'll be going with. Target, Burn, Rykick and Trippier is probably not exactly the back four I'm going to be going with because I'm going to be playing Botman instead because I think he's got better potential. Rodriguez is the reason we are playing with an anchor there. We've then got Joelinton and Grimares there. That's probably the way round I would play them, although Grimares is better as a deep line playmaker. He's also the most capable player as a central midfielder. We've then got Almiron and St. Maximin, and then Isaac up front. Isaac, who, as we can see, is currently injured, out for another couple of weeks, so not going to be starting at the start of the season. We have got a couple of fairly significant injuries. John Joe Shelby is obviously another one that's going to be out for a good part of the season. And now Isaac is going to be out for a while as well. So we're just going to remove all of them and we'll work out. I think Callum Wilson's going to have to be going up front. And in terms of actually having substitutes, we're just going to add in who we can, which is not a lot of people. But we're going to get straight into that game against Brighton. And so it's going to look like this, as we just said. Pope, Target, Botman, right kick, Trippier, Rodriguez, Joe Wilton, Guimaraes, Almiron, Saint-Maximin and Wilson up front. I think Wilson has actually performed better than Isaac in pre-season. I don't care about any of this. I don't need to know any of this. It's literally identical to last year. We've been playing Football Manager a long time and all of this is fairly similar. My main concern at the moment is Saint-Maximin, who's obviously one of the better players at the club, has been utter rubbish in pre-season. I've played him both as a winger on the right side and I've played him as an inverted winger over on the left side. Both roles that he should be entirely capable of, and he's done absolutely nothing. He's pretty much average throughout the whole of pre-season, maybe a 6.3, 6.4. I don't think he's offered an assist. I don't think he's really offered anything. So we'll see how he does actually in the Premier League. But it might be that we need to have a look in the long term and more importantly in the short term if he's someone we want to actually play there. You can see as well today Brighton are basically playing, I mean, not quite a flat back five, but back three or a back five and then two defensive midfielders as well. It seems like really negative defensive football. And from some other videos I've watched other content creators do, I don't know the defensive tactics are doing all that well in Football Manager this year at the moment. That might be something that gets fixed. That might be something that maybe it's just coincidence, but they haven't looked like they're doing that well. Lamptey, though, bringing the ball forward here. We have not been playing particularly well already, looking at the possession stats. And Welbeck is through on goal there. It is saved by Pope and now going to be brought out by Target, but that's going to be the end of the highlight. Our possession stats there are absolutely horrific. And I think that's going to be what the start of this season is. It's going to be lots of adjustment and lots of going, where do we need to tweak the tactic? What works in this match engine? McAllister there with a header. I think we need to get some sort of control here pretty quickly going in at half time, because so far this is not very good. What is it in our tactic? Because this is not a very custom tactic. This is very much we're sort of playing a tactic that's pre-built within the tactics screen. I haven't really adjusted it that much. As we go along across the course of the first season, as we get a bit more used to the game, we can adjust that tactic and we can have a look at doing stuff like that. But at the moment, it's a bit bog standard, and definitely possession stats there indicating that isn't going to work for us. So we just, as you saw, shorten those passes, make it a bit less direct. Hopefully that helps out. I feel like we should be pressing a little bit more here as well. It's something else maybe for the next match I need to have a look at. That one, though, only going as far as Pope. Great first touch there from Pope. Not exactly what I'm looking for necessarily in a goalkeeper, but I guess it's a nice bit of thing to have. Welbeck there first. I mean, it's gone. I think that's because it was offside. It looked really weird. He didn't put any power on it. It was a bit of a strange shot. Again, is that Welbeck being awful, or was that a bit of a Football Manager being in the beta stage and the match engine having a couple of bugs at the moment? I'm not entirely sure. Do let me know as well what sort of your experience with Football Manager 23 has been so far if you are playing it. And again, if you're not playing it, why aren't you? Go down and order it using my code now. Shameless plug. Lamptey through on goal again. We are playing absolutely awfully, and Welbeck has punished us there. Maybe this 4-3-3, not the formation that we're going to be using for the rest of this season. The first goal on the channel for FM23 is not with our team. It's with Brighton, and it is Danny Welbeck. That is not a sentence I expected to utter when I started recording this today. We're going to have to make some adjustments here. I mean, I think like I've been playing that as a balance, so we're going to do that. We're going to drop back. I know that seems mad because we're losing, but I believe it was balanced when we were doing quite well, or when we were doing better in pre-season, so we're going to go with that. Callum Wilson is on a 6.3, but do I think Chris Wood is going to come in and do a better job? Not really, if I'm honest. Trippier isn't looking exactly fantastic either. We're just going to change that, see if we can get him to go forward a little bit more. Where do we make the changes here? Joe Wilcock's going to come on for Joe Wilton there as well. Someone I want to be giving a bit of game time this season, because definitely looking at our recruitment bits for the next couple of seasons, he could grow into quite a good player. Trippier there delivering that corner. It's a second bite of the cherry, but there's absolutely no one there to latch on to the end of that cross, and we aren't pressing enough. So that's something I'm going to have to address in between games. I think it's a bit late to be doing it in game now. Maybe it isn't. Let's just pause in the middle of the highlight. Maybe it isn't too late. Let's have a look. Out of possession. How much should we press it? Yeah, okay. This is something I probably should notice, because we're playing a wing play formation. There is basically no press on this. I think for the rest of this game, we're going to have to be telling the lads to sort of get up a little bit more and press a bit more, because at the moment, that's leaving Brighton just so much time on the ball. I guess that's a good thing in terms of the fact that I can instantly see with this match engine, hey, there must be something in my tactics that's making us not press, because we are really, really visibly not pressing. So I guess that's a positive, that the match engine is doing exactly what I'd asked it to there. It's just the fact that I didn't realise it was that bad a pressing. Lewis has won the ball back there, put across into the box, and now St Maximin has shattered the crossbar, and the ball is going out of play there for a Newcastle throw-in, but we're not going to get a highlight of that, so I can only assume wasn't coming too much at the moment. We can make 5 substitutions. If you have got FM23 as well, it is 5 substitutions this year. Target is looking quite tired, so I think Dan Burn comes over on that side. Guimarães is looking tired as well, so Sean Longstaff can come on. We can make one more. Callum Wilson, we're going to take him off. We'll put Chris Wood on. I mean, Wilson, unfortunately not scoring today, because he came back from his injury in pre-season. I instantly had to play him because Isaac got injured, and he scored a couple of goals in the game he came back. So I was hoping he was going to be one of those players that's just a little bit of a cheat code, and you don't really know why they're good. They just are. Botman here nodding this one away. Trippier now bringing the ball forward. Now we've put him on attack. He is going to blast forward. I thought Wood might challenge for that one. Instead, he's just let Sanchez grab it. Not really what we're looking for here, and that's a big clearance forward. Welbeck once again, really good first touch there from him. Pope is going to save that one, but I think we're probably looking at losing all the points today, which is a shame, because realistically, actually on match stats, we're not doing that badly. Just our chances were awful. We didn't really do a lot there, and possession was awful, so we probably need to go away and have a look at that tactic before we go and face Everton, because I don't really fancy having a team that doesn't press and gets beaten constantly. Right, so we are back for the match against Everton. Before anyone notices it, that result against Brighton's now different, because directly after it, I clicked on Patson Daka to have a look at him on a scout report, and the whole game crashed, which... it's a beta, it's going to happen. It's been reported to SI via their crash log, and I had to reload the game a couple of times to actually get us to lose again, because apparently my assistant manager is better than me, and he won that game 2 out of the 3 times I re-simulated it in order to get us a loss and keep some sort of continuity in that. We have sort of played around a little bit with the instructions. There are no player instructions at the moment. That's the one thing I haven't done. I haven't added any individual instructions in yet. We can see this is now a custom tactical style to try and hopefully make this just a little bit better. I was going to play Ryan Fraser as well, because honestly, St Maximin, he isn't doing it for me. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe he needs some time to gel with his tactic. I'm not sure. But as it stands, he's not really performing the way I thought he would in Football Manager. Isaac right at the bottom of this screen as well, not quite back from injury yet. So we're going with roughly the same team, if not exactly the same team actually. Pope, Target, Botman, Re-Kick and Trippier is our back five. Rodriguez, Joelton, Guimaraes, St. Maximim, Almiron and Wilson up front, I think, is exactly the same team as last time out. Unless I've missed something, I'm sure you guys will let me know down in the comment. Everton, we can see today, that's a pretty much run-of-the-mill team, I think, for them now. Anthony Gordon, I think that's about right. James Garner there as well on the subs bench. I don't know. I haven't looked at him yet. I'm interested to have a look at James Garner because I had him in a couple of saves last year. He's a really, really good player, at least on Football Manager. We can see Everton drew their first game in the league. We lost ours. I'd like to see 3 points in this one. I'd like to see a goal from Newcastle. It's the first episode of FM23 where we're actually going to see gameplay. Can we at least get a goal, please? That would be wonderful. That's the idea anyway. But whether that happens or not, we shall see. Definitely finding the tactics a bit difficult. Pope distributing that one to Trippier, which is what I've asked him to do. Distribute to fullbacks, and Trippier instantly losing possession. That's not really very good, is it? Everton going to play around with the back. We are asking Newcastle and the players up front to press a bit more. So we'll see if that makes a difference in this match. I have noticed in the match engine, we've conceded as well inside 5 minutes. Oh no. I've definitely noticed as well in the match engine, it's a bit messier, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all, but you do see more kind of misplaced balls, a bit more scrambles in the box. That's not an example of a scramble in the box. That was a good through ball and our defence just being carved apart. But you definitely see balls pinging around in the box, hitting the post, and there being a bit of a scramble where the goalkeeper can't quite get to it and your players can't get to it and the defenders try to clear it, but it bounces off of your strikers behind. That sort of thing, which I think is quite cool because obviously it does happen in real football. Not so much at this sort of level. I'd be very interested when I start the long-term series on the channel on November 8th when this releases. Obviously starting, I've mentioned before, with Taunton Town, which are the closest playable team to my house this year in the lowest league. I think it is the first time Taunton are playable in Football Manager ever. I could be wrong about that, but I'm 99% sure that's what I read. So that would be quite cool. I'll be very interested to see if it's even more chaotic in non-league football, because obviously the level of play, the quality of the players is drastically different to the Premier League. So maybe it'll be even more chaotic. And we have got ourselves a goal, and it looks like it's going to VAR. VAR, don't do this to me. It is the return of Philip, the virtual assistant referee from last year. But he has let the goal stand. Lovely stuff. We have finally seen a goal for Newcastle. St. Maximim there into Guimaraes, who has just tapped that one, got the right side of the Everton defender and put that one in the back of the net. It looks like as well that central midfielders, I remember from last season, it took me a long time to actually notice, but central midfielders on a attack role were a little bit overpowered at times. It was one of those roles in FM22 that was very, very good. It wouldn't guarantee you good performances, but more often than not, you would get good performances out of it. And it seems like that's kind of the same in FM23. We'll see if maybe that might just be this team and we've got someone who's very good in that role. But maybe let me know down in the comments below if you've been playing through the beta as well. If you found that, is this role still one that if you put that one in, you are guaranteeing yourself a better performance than normal? I'm just having a look down at substitutes. Almiron here on a 6.3. You can get off my pitch. Murphy, are you okay over there? It's an inverted winger. Who was the other one who could play there? Ryan Fraser. I think we'll go with Murphy. We'll keep Murphy on that side. So any other particularly poor performances on here? I mean, Botman on a 6.5. Going to take him off. Let's bring on Fabian Schär instead, and we'll just confirm those first two substitutes as Everton take a throw-in just inside our half now. I don't like, we still don't seem to be pressing quite enough. It's not as aggressive as FM22, because I have now got it as more higher trigger press, more pressing. We are awful, absolutely awful at through balls by the looks of it as well. That is something maybe we need to address. Maybe we'd be better at getting people to cross the ball in, and we can defend a cross more than we can a through ball, because that's twice in this match, and that's pretty lacklustre defending there from Pope as well. But if we have a look at the instructions, and is it out of... Yeah, here we go. So you can... This one, we got stop crosses at the moment, so it is making them come into the middle, and that's meaning we're conceding. So maybe we invite the crosses in. Maybe our central defenders will be able to head the ball away if it's crossed in, because they definitely don't seem capable of defending it when it's played through the middle. So it feels like that's the right thing to do. We'll see if that pans out or not, or maybe it won't. Anyway, Schär here, going to nod that one down to target here. And now can we take the ball forward and make something out of this match? I'll take a point at this stage, because we're definitely struggling at the start of this season and in pre-season. That was an indication this was going to happen. Finding the right players, finding the right system to use. Murphy into Wilson. Wilson does get his head to it. He's offside anyway, but in addition to that, he also missed the target. So all in all, not a great attack there for us. Schär over to right kick now to Guimaraes. He is tackled by Onana, and Everton coming forward once again. It's Mbappé and Pope's... I'm not sure how I feel about goalkeeping so far in FM23. It seems like... I don't think Pope is necessarily a bad goalkeeper. It just seems like the goalkeeping in general maybe is a little bit strange. We're going to actually move all this around. Can you play as a defensive midfielder? You can, so we'll move that. Wilson, maybe you come off. Maybe we put Chris Wood on. I don't know how he plays in his advance forward. Not too badly, so we confirm those. We can make one more substitution before the end of this match as well. But right now, we are dominating on everything bar XG again, which is a little bit concerning, because obviously if we're going to dominate matches, I'd quite like to win them. So Maximin can come off. We'll bring on Ryan Fraser over on that side. What can we do here, really? I mean, we could move Guimaraes and put him up there. He can't play in there. Can anyone on the field play in there? Joelton can, so we could play him as an attacking midfielder just for the rest of this match. We'd move to a 4-2-3-1 the last few minutes, and we'll go attacking as well and encourage the team. Will any of this make a difference? Maybe not. Oh, this could be a really early sacking for us if we don't sort this out. We weren't good enough tonight. I feel like that's a fairly reasonable assessment, and it does mean we have no points so far in the league. Or this could be a bit of a long save. That's assuming we don't just get fired really early in, because that would be a bit of a pain when you're trying to do a beta save and get all the way through to November 8th. If we then just get fired within the first 3 or 4 episodes, we have to either restart or do some shenanigans in order to make the save continue. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. If you have enjoyed seeing us get absolutely battered, maybe you're a Sunderland fan, then please do drop a like down below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. There will be lots of FM23 content coming, especially in the upcoming weeks. But until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.